To be killed, I don't even know. Ah, we're still an indirect statement. That's why it's a passive infinitive. Maybe. Except Cheaty Book doesn't translate it as indirect statement. It just says to be killed. He says that it is no great task for the legion which is wintering with Cicero, after being suddenly overwhelmed, to be to oppressum legionem, okay, which is wintering with Caesar, to be killed. Okay? And then it says, he volunteers himself as an assistant for, he volunteers himself as an assistant for the task, ad eam rem. Okay, so for the profitetur. Let's look at that word. Profitetur. No, don't do that. No, don't do that. No, don't do that either. Ugh, I closed everything. It's okay. Profitetur. That should be, yeah, it is. It's a deponent. But it's not one of the ones, like one of the main deponents that were like, you have to memorize this if I did Latin 2 correctly. Okay? So that wouldn't be on the memorize that stuff, blah, blah, blah. It's not one that comes up as often, which is why I'm looking at it going, but it is where we get the word profess. Everybody see profess and profession? From professum, and a professor is a person having declared. Yes? Isn't that fun? A professor is a person having declared their expertise. Yes? Profess your love, having declared love. Yes? Okay, so profiteor. You see profiteor, profiteri. Is that first conjugation, second conjugation, third conjugation, or fourth? Profiteor. This is where you want to look, right here. And right here. Good news is it can't be third because it's got an RI, right? And third doesn't do that.
Second.
So it is second, very good. And you know it's second because of that EO. Yes? Everybody with me? And also recording everything. Okay, and then I have to go open the thing that I just accidentally closed. Okay, so facile is an interesting little adverb. It's sort of like, we're not going to do the iter thing, we're just going to be facile. Okay, but haperatione, everybody good with ablative of means or instrument? Yes? With this speech, he easily persuades the Neruis. What case is Neruis? It is dative, very good. And that is exactly what you expect it to be. He does lowercase d's, right? Mm-hmm. So that is a dative. Why? Very good. With the special verb persuades. Okay, and as Hayden said, remember I teach you special verbs. The reason they're special is because they have a direct object built into the sense. So instead of taking a direct object in the accusative, they automatically take sort of like an indirect object in the dative. But we don't call it an indirect object, we call it a dative with special verbs. Because I wasn't part of the meeting, okay? I was not there. I would have been like, guys, couldn't you just call it like a special verb indirect object? And they're like, no. It's just dative with special verbs. But it's just a square version of the rectangle that is indirect objects. Everybody with me? Okay. Was there anything in here that you needed me to explain? Because I kind of just went rushing through things. There's tons and tons of deponents in here. Let's do this. Let's start at the top and see if we can go through and find all the deponents. So, line 2, where's your deponent? Proficiscitur, very good, that's a deponent. Okay, and that's one of the proficiscor to set out, that is one of the ones you need to know. Proficiscor, proficisci, third conjugation. Okay, how about the third line? Where is your deponent? Subsequi is indeed a deponent. This is actually the infinitive. Okay? He orders them to, or he orders, understood, I don't even know who's ordering. He orders them to follow. He orders the infantry to follow. There you go. Remember, anytime you see you bet, okay? I'm teaching my ones this very, very carefully right now. You bet has a formula. You have the accusative person being ordered, or thing being ordered, and then you have the infinitive thing that is being ordered to happen. Okay? It is the most direct of commands, because the other one is an indirect command. But there's also the imperative, which is actually just a straight up bossy form command. Yeah? Okay? So I guess it's the second most direct command. Second most direct command. Okay? But deponent, the step sequi is your infinitive that goes with you bet. Okay? Ooh, liberandi. Anytime I see an indi, my brain goes, ooh, what's going on with that? And olkiskindi. Now, olkiskor is a deponent. Liberandi is not. I'm getting off topic here. But I got distracted by things and I'm like, oh, that's fun. Anytime I see an indi, that's usually something fun. Great. Not to lose the opportunity of freeing themselves forever and getting revenge on the Romans. Okay, so these are technically gerunds. Everybody good with that? I guess, unless, are they describing something? Now, if it's describing something, it would be a gerundive. Does he say if it's a gerund or a gerundive in his video? No? Ugh. So many books for Caesar. Ugh. Ugh. I need so many books. I hate it. I'm just not as used to his style as I am, Dr. Gerundive. Yes. Because it is describing, here's the thing. Like, remember, the difference between a gerund and a gerundive is just adjective versus noun. If it's describing anything, then it's a gerundive. And normally, what happens is, like, it doesn't have a direct object, because what it would take as a direct object becomes the thing that it's describing. But that's not exactly what's happening here, because we have, on the following day he arrives among the Nervii and encourages them not to lose the opportunity of freeing themselves forever and getting revenge on the Romans. So this is the one that Romanos is the direct object of Olkiskindi, but that's not how it's supposed to work. So Hans says, the syntax is harsh, combining a gerundive. Oh, no, here's the thing. That's what's going on. So liberandi is a gerundive because it has sui, right? And it's describing, those things are going together, right? Okay. Olkiskindi is a gerund because it has the direct object Romanos. Do you need me to pull this out on a different page so that we can get a little bit closer look at it? Okay, so we have sui liberandi. This is a gerundive because sui would be the direct object, but instead it's the noun that liberandi is describing. So sui described by liberandi. Okay? So that would be, like, if it said liberandi suos, then that would be freeing themselves, and then that would make it a gerund, which is what it does with the next one, which is olkis, I just lost the word, olkiskendi, goodness gracious, which is a deponent, or is a deponent verb. Olkiskor means to avenge. If you want good names for, like, if you're writing fiction, and you want a good name meaning avenger, you can go to Olkiskor, or Olkiskatur, or some Olkiskatus or Olkiskator with an OR. Anyways, the point is, Olkiskindi Romanos, you can see here, this is the direct object, it's accusative, and it's plural, making it the direct object, which makes Olkiskindi a gerund, and that's not typically what we do, and that's weird for Caesar, right? Because Caesar is like, we used to do Caesar as second semester Latin too, and by used to, I mean, not we, like the people who came before me, like Mog as Latin 2 did Caesar semester 2, because he's such a good grammar teacher, right? Because Caesar likes to follow the grammar rules. And the number one grammar rule is to have as few cases as possible in a sentence. I know you don't believe me based on some of the sentences you have read, but one of the proper writing, a lot of the rules that we think make Latin kind of complicated is really just meant to simplify the number of cases that are in a sentence. For instance, having a gerund versus a gerundive, instead of having it take an accusative direct object, you can just make it agree with it in number, gender, and case, and it becomes a gerundive and you get the same sense, right? Okay, so the gerund, everybody see how that is actually more complicated. So gerund and Romanos, direct object of Olkiskindi. Is this helping, or are you guys just bored out of your mind? Cohen's like, I'm actually bored out of my mind, but I don't want to hurt your feelings, so I'm afraid you'll be angry with me if I say it. No, it's okay. We're all just tired. I know. How many times? How many times? What? Imani says, come on, Cohen. It's okay. It's a safe space. I know. Whoever's listening to my videos, it's mean to start back on a Monday. Anyways.
Durango knows that.
Right? What?
Durango.
Yeah, every
It's
other
a small
school
town
district.
in Colorado.
Yeah,
that
every
works
other
better than
school
our
district knows. I think all of my friends in Oklahoma City went back yesterday. Yeah. Yes, I was unhappy. So they're all like talking about lesson plan on Sunday. I'm like, dude, I don't know what you're doing. Like, I'm just trying to rest so that I'm ready to hit the ground running on Monday. So I'm like, no, I will talk about lesson plans on Sunday. Actually, they were talking about lesson plans on Friday and Saturday. I was like, what are you doing? Like, no, too much school. Anyways, okay, this is an adverb. Okay, and it's weird because it looks like the neuter, and facile is just an irregular adverb that does that. You would think, in fact, if you followed the rules, it would be faciliter, but that does not exist. It's just facile, easily. I don't know why. They didn't invite me to the meeting! I don't know why. Okay? We have like 4 minutes left.
Oh.
This one's a better shirt.
You guys look super cute in your picture. And I like that, so Carrie and Deja picked the picture color, or picked the t-shirt color. And yes, Deja, I'm giving you props. I liked that it was on the same wavelength as the yearbook color pictures. Like, that means that I like when we're hip. And like,
I like the gray.
I like when we're current with our color choices. Like,
On the screen, it just looks great. Now that I
it's
see it in
a
person,
blue year. I don't know.
I
What?
can see more blue in person than on the screen.
You can see more blue in person than on the screen? Yes.
On the screen, I thought it was just great.
Just gray.
But I
Yeah.
like it really good.
Yeah. It's a good color. It's an earthy, natural, calming. So, I can't think of anything else that I wanted to talk about in this slash I don't see, other than this is a perfect passive participle, so, right, with the legion having been oppressed. Right? I'm not sure what's going on with the phrase nihil esse negoti. Oh, it's a genitive of the whole. So nihil negoti, thank you, Hans. Nihil negoti is an idiom. You know, a turn of phrase that just means no difficulty, and apparently you just have to know that.
Right.
Nothing of a negotiation. You could get there. Yes, you could get there literally. So that's why, you know, the AP objective is to translate as literally as possible. Sometimes they add as idiomatically as possible, and you're like, no. No. But a lot of times what they do, from my understanding from looking at the chunks, like the graded chunks on the translation portion, is they'll take the literal translation and they'll also take the idiomatic translation. Does that make sense? As long as you have the grammar correct, you are good. Okay?
So in those chunks that they're grading you on, will they have like multiple chunks that are right for one?
Sometimes, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like whenever I go through, when I did the chunks for like your translations and stuff like that, I only did like one, like this is my translation, and I chunked it as I went. But they have a collection of things that they accepted as the right answer. Oh, so those of you that weren't here at the beginning of class, song project is due February 24th. Your song selection, you need to have that in like 2 or 3 weeks. So it's like it's on the calendar. It's all on the calendar. But that means that our new finish with all of the curriculum date is April 8th. Wale, have a good day, guys. Get some rest. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Bye. Don't fall behind. Keep doing your translations. You're doing a good job.
I want to do all the translations on Saturday. Also, I'm like super ahead. I'm already this.
I need to start getting, because I can see where I stopped, where I was just like, because it was one of the parent-teacher conference nights.